Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are looking at another LeetCode question, which is average of levels in binary tree. Now what the question says is that given a non-empty binary tree, we need to return the average value of nodes on each level in the form of an array, right? What I mean by that is that if I am given a binary tree, we need to kind of look at each and every level. When I'm saying level, it means that this is one level, this is another level, and this is third level, right? And if I want to kind of, we need to return the average of each and every level. So if you look at it, right, there is only one node, so that will be like 3. Since it is only 1, it will be 3 by 1, which will be equal to 3. Now if I look at this one, so that will be 9 plus 20 by 2, which will be equal to 29 by 2, which will be equal to 14.5. And similarly, if you look at this one, that this level contains only 15 and 7, so that will be 15 plus 7 by 2, which will equal to 22 by 2, which will be equal to 11. I hope you understood this. Now, this question can be solved with multiple approaches. Either you can use a depth first search where you traverse to each and every node in depth-wise. Second is if you kind of look at from the best perspective. So I'll go ahead and use a breadth first search approach, wherein what I'll do is I'll take this node, then I look for all the child nodes and add it to the queue, and then I'll find all the child nodes and add it to the queue and work accordingly, right? What I mean by that is, first what I'll do is, say I have a queue, which is a q1. I'll say I'll add the root node to it, which is equal to 3. Now what I'll do is find all the child nodes of this queue, which is equal to 9 and 20. I'll add them to another queue, which will be say q2. And once I'm done with this iteration, I'll say uh, this value, right, will be used to calculate the average. So in this place it will be 3. Now once I'm done with this iteration where I finished doing all the child nodes, I'll assign q1 equal to q2, which will be equal to now 9 comma 20, right? Then again I'll go and find all the child nodes of 9 comma 20. So 9 in this case has no child nodes, but 20 has two child nodes. So I'll see 15 comma 7, and I repeat the step 1 and I'll add 15 and 7 into the q2, and I'll do summation or average of these two, which will be equal to 14.5. Next, again, once this level is done, I'll add q1 equal to q2. In this case, q1 equal to q2, which will be equal to 15 comma 7, and I'll go ahead and search for child nodes again. In this case, I don't have anything, so I'll not add anything to the queue and it will be returned, but this will end up doing again an average, which will be 15 plus 7 by 2, which will equal to 11, right? This is, you can say a pseudo, you can say, flowchart how my code should run. But let me write the code so that it becomes way easier to understand. So as I just said, right, I'll create two queues, but for starters, let me create a tree node, say q1, which will be equal to new queue tree node, right? And I need to return a list that will be equal to list of double, that will equal to new list double, right? Now this will be, let me name it results. What I'll say is I first add uh, root node to the queue, so that will be in queue root, and I'll iterate through this until unless my queue is not empty. q1 dot count is greater than 0. Now what I'll first do is, once I'm inside this, I need to instantiate my second queue in which I'll insert all the child nodes, right? So I'll say queue q2 is equal to new queue tree node, right? And I need to find an average, so that will say my, and I'm going to return double, right? So double sum is equal to say 0, and my int count is equal to 0, right? Sum of all the values and divide by the number of components, that will be count, right? What I'll do again is I'll iterate through all the parent nodes, which in this case will be my, again, the q1 dot 0, and I'll first find out all the child nodes. So what I'll do is, first I'll say get my node in this particular parent list. That will be where my node is equal to q1.tq. I got root node in this case, and I'll say if my node dot left is not equal to null, I'll add it to my q2 node dot left, and if my node dot right is not equal to null, I'll add that to the QUE node dot right. Right? Fairly simple by this time, but in this case, when you remember, we did one extra step, which is to find out the sum. So sum will be sum plus equal to node dot val, the parent value, and count will be plus plus. Right? Once I'm outside this, I'll say my results will be equal to uh, or say results dot add simply, which will be equal to sum by count. This is where I'm finding the average. Now I found the average added to the list, but I need to kind of make my child nodes the parent node. So that will be like q1 is now equal to q2, right? And once this is done, once I've done iterating through all the child node which are parents, and then iteration to all the parents until unless I find the last step, I'll just simply return my results, right? Uh, I hope this should do the trick. I went through all this one, find all the child nodes added to the queue. Then once that is done, I'll edit this one. Once this is okay, let me run this once. Okay, it got accepted. I got 3, 14.5, and 11. Let me try to submit it. It got accepted with 97% accuracy. So if I talk about the time complexity of this one will be O of n, where n is the number of nodes in the tree. And if I talk about the space complexity, that will be the number of values which are inserted into the queue, right? Which will be say O of f for that matter, right? So this is it. I hope you understood the thought process and what led to kind of reaching to this kind of an approach. You can go ahead and use depth for search as well, but herein I found depth for search an easy approach and kind of easy to follow as well. But that is totally your discretion and you being comfortable about it. Now, in case you still have any doubts, any confusions, please do reach out to me in the comment section. In case you like this explanation or and are new to the channel, please do like the channel and subscribe in case you haven't subscribed yet. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot.